let's be honest, Microsoft have been making all the headlines lately with Game Pass and E3, the Bethesda acquisition. It goes on and on and on. And I've been expecting for a long time now that Sony would come out swinging and they'd give us something that we could go, okay, they've been keeping their powder dry. They're out there and they've been just waiting. And so I hadn't really followed any of the news running up to the most recent State of Play that came out yesterday. And I thought in the back of my mind that we'd see something special. I wasn't sure what, but I thought, they'll maybe announce a new IP or they'll give us something. But what we got was pretty underwhelming, I have to say. They opened this latest State of Play with a PlayStation VR game, Moss Book 2. Now, it looked okay, but is anyone actually playing PlayStation VR anymore? I mean, we're all kind of waiting around to see when PlayStation VR 2 is going to drop, but we didn't hear anything about that yesterday. Then they gave us a game called Arcadegeddon, which is coming into early access and it's available now. And that's on PlayStation 5 and PC via the Epic Store. So, yeah, that didn't really do a great deal for me, I have to say. Then they followed that up with a game called Tribes of Midgard. And this is going to be a live service game. Yawn. It's going to have seasonal updates and loot. And yeah. And that's coming to Xbox and PC as well. So, and it's PlayStation 4 as well as PlayStation 5. Then we had Fist. Now, Fist actually looked quite interesting. It looked a bit weird. But again, it's coming to PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 and PC. I don't know. It looked a bit different and it might be interesting. And then another one called Hunter's Arena, which looked like another live service. I'm not entirely sure. And they talked about expansive maps, which immediately turned me off because often when you hear about expansive maps, it means they've produced something huge with very little in it. But, it might be okay. And it's Battle Royale. And that's coming on August 21st. And that's PlayStation 4 as well as PlayStation 5. And it's PC. And then finally, if I say finally, we actually got to a game that I was really interested in, Sifu, which I thought looked a lot of fun. And I actually wrote that in my notes. I said, looks fun. And that's early next year, so we'll have to wait around for that one. But that's PS4 and PS5 again, and PC. You notice a pattern here. And then we got Jet the Far Shore, which I wrote in my notes looks interesting. And they described it as a laid-back action-adventure. So that's going to have a different tone to a lot of games. And that one might interest me if it's something you can just sort of kick back on the couch and enjoy. That might be something that I might dip into. Again, though, PlayStation 4 and 5 and PC. So far, we've got a PSVR exclusive game. And yeah, everything else is coming to PlayStation 4 and 5 or PC and PlayStation 5. There's no specific exclusives. And I'm a bit wary about this whole thing of exclusives. If it comes to PC as well, I don't count that as not being an exclusive, really. I know people use this to beat Microsoft with for a long time. But it doesn't matter. It's a different market for me. A lot of people who are PC gamers won't necessarily have a console now. I do. But, they are different markets. But anyway, as I say, we went from Jet the Far Shore, which, as I say, looked pretty good, to Demon Slayer. And I wasn't sure. That's a Sega game. I don't know. I wrote in the notes, RPG ? Couldn't really quite work out what it was. If you guys know more about it than me, let me know in the comments. The one comment I did make in my notes, though, was terrible dialogue. So it's another one of these Japanese-style games with awful dialogue. Now, for me, I know a lot of people don't get put off by this, but one of the reasons I have a problem with JRPGs is the dialogue in them is bloody awful quite often. And this one didn't look any different. And again, that one's coming to PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox and PC. It's basically on everything, including your toaster. Then we had Lost Judgment, and that looked okay. That's PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 and Xbox. That's coming September 24th this year. And then we got Death Stranding Director's Cut. And it looks like they're doing exactly the same with Death Stranding Director's Cut as they are with Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut. Namely, they're expecting you to buy the bloody thing all over again and not giving you a free upgrade. And sorry, Sony, but that's not a good look. And that really annoys me because it's not that long ago that I bought Death Stranding. So I actually bought it on PC, so it's not a big deal here. I didn't buy it on PlayStation. I did buy Ghost of Tsushima on PlayStation, and again, I didn't buy that long ago. So if you're someone who's only just bought that, these games on PlayStation 4, you're going to have to shell out the full price again to get the director's cut for the PlayStation 5. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Sony. You're just cashing in there. That really, really pissed me off when I saw that. But it did pick up a little bit after that. We got Deathloop. And this one's an interesting one because I've been looking on Twitter and there's been all sorts of people talking about this and getting really annoyed because it's a Bethesda game and, Bethesda are a load of old rubbish and all this kind of stuff. And they're not interested in it and they don't want to buy it because it's a Bethesda game and they're now owned by Microsoft, which is bloody asinine if you ask me. If the game comes out and it's a good game, who gives a crap who makes it? As long as they're not, flogging children to build the bloody thing or doing, something nefarious, it's a game. If it comes out and it's good, play it. End of. And I have to say, it does look good. And I think it's got a year exclusive on PlayStation 5, although it's coming to PC as well. So I might get it on PC, I might get it on PlayStation 5, I don't know. The fact of the matter is, I probably will buy it on PlayStation 5, and then maybe later down the line, if it's any good, I'll play it on the Xbox when it comes to Xbox, and it'll almost certainly be on Xbox Game Pass when it drops. So, yeah, that looked good. That was probably the highlight for me, but then we know a lot about Deathloop already, so it wasn't a great deal of anything new. But yeah, that looked okay. Other than that, though, this was something and nothing. I mean, as I say, we got to Death Stranding, and I was at that point, I was bloody seething. So I wasn't particularly in a great mood. It's just as well they dropped that towards the end, because otherwise I would have been seething through the rest of it, and the criticisms I've made here would have been even more. But the takeaway from this is that most of these games are going to be on PlayStation 5, and most of them are going to be on PC as well, or they're going to be on PlayStation 4. There's very little that I can see here that's going to be totally exclusive to PlayStation 5. In fact, I can't see anything that's totally PlayStation 5. Nothing in my notes. They're all either Xbox, PC, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5. So the whole we believe in generations thing, you can take that one with a pinch of salt. They believe in generations, but yeah. And, I don't see that as a bad thing. I just wish they'd have been upfront about it. But yeah, my takeaway from this is I was a bit annoyed because of all this stuff with their generations. The only thing they want with generations is to screw more money out of us. And yeah, it was a bit underwhelming. So anyway, that's my take. I don't know what you think. Let me know in the comments. Give us a thumbs up, all the usual stuff. And I'm off to get a cup of tea. And I'll speak to you in the next one. Bye.